the presentation. You might not see Sandra live, but you will hear her. So we're about to go live on Facebook right now. So I want to welcome Sandra Moffat from Tourism Ireland. I'm so glad you could join us today. And if you would, you may take the screen.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lisa. And thank you so much for having me today. Apologies for my camera difficulties. You may just see my profile photo here. I am live with you all today, but unfortunately I seem to be having some tech difficulties with my camera. So apologies for that, but hopefully you can all see my screen. This is a beautiful photo of Dublin City, which is my hometown. And today I just want to take everybody on a bit of a virtual tour through Ireland. It'll be a whistle-stop version, but hopefully it'll give you some inspiration and some ideas for travel to Ireland. Obviously, we are in a crazy situation at the moment, so I just wanted to give everybody a very quick update on travel to Ireland as it currently stands. So all non-essential overseas travel is discouraged at the moment, as it is here in Canada, but we are doing quite well with regards to the COVID-19 situation. Everything has recently reopened in Ireland, and it is open for the holidays. And very exciting news is that the first person to get the COVID-19 Pfizer vaccine was an Irish woman just a couple of days ago. She was from County Fermanagh. So they are rolling that out, and we are quite confident that travel will resume in 2021, and we're very excited about that. There is a warm Irish welcome waiting for everybody. It's so strange to have our country without our visitors. It's something that we really enjoy. Tourism is so important to us as a country, and we really miss having our international visitors in Ireland, on the island of Ireland. So looking forward to when everything opens up again, and some helpful resources for you all. And Lisa will be able to give you much more information on the current stance of travel to various destinations, including Ireland. But reopen.europa.eu is a great website that will give you information on where to travel and what the current situation is in each country across Europe. And then, of course, the timetotravel.ca website as well is a very helpful tool when you are looking to plan your vacations. Safety is our priority on the island of Ireland, so just so you are aware, when you do travel to Ireland, there is that warm welcome, and also safety is top of mind for everybody. Our industry on the island have been working really, really hard over the past number of months to make sure that everything is ready for international visitors when the time is right to travel again. So what you will see across the island when you are there is these safety charters. So you'll see these safety marks on all of our tourism properties, hotels, coaches, attractions, just so that you can rest assured that everything is being taken care of with regard to health and safety protocols and hygiene. So why Ireland? There is so many destinations to choose from across the world, but my role is to make you passionate and excited about traveling to Ireland. I personally think it's the best country in the world, aside from Canada, which I now live in, and here is just some of the reasons why. Travel from Canada is a really great idea. It's the closest European hub from Canada. So if you are looking for that taste of Europe and that European vacation, we are the closest port of call. It's only 5.5-hour flight from Toronto to Dublin City, for example. So it's just a short hop across the Atlantic Ocean, and from there you can explore the rest of Europe as well. 4.5 million Canadians claim Irish ancestry, and we've seen this be a really strong driver for Canadians wanting to visit Ireland. Our connections run really deep. I know when I moved here 5 years ago, I noticed a lot of similarities between, Irish and Canadians. Everyone's really friendly and warm and welcoming here, and you'll find the exact same thing on the island of Ireland. So 4 of Canada's 22 prime ministers claimed Irish heritage, and the oldest St. Patrick's Day parade in Canada takes place in Montreal. It's been running since 1824. So we do have long-standing connections between our two countries. So I think you'll feel right at home when you do travel there. There is an attraction that I'd recommend everyone visit when they do go to Ireland, because I know you all are going to travel there. I certainly hope so anyway. So EPIC is the Irish Emigration Museum. It's right in the heart of Dublin City. It's right on the quays. And this is a museum that showcases the global impact of the Irish. We're a very small nation. but I think we have made a massive impact globally. And this museum really showcases that. It's really interactive. It's so much fun. You learn to Irish dance throughout the museum. It's not heavy, and while there is lots of focus on ancestry, and you can learn how to trace your connections and trace your roots in this museum, it is a very interactive and fun museum for all ages. So one I really recommend. It actually just won Europe's leading tourist attraction for the second year in a row. So it does have accolades to back up my recommendation. Another reason I would say to visit Ireland, and something that makes us stand out against a lot of other destinations, is our castles, our gardens, and unique luxurious experiences. So luxury doesn't have to mean expensive. That's one thing that I really want to draw the line under. You can get unique luxurious experiences, have these amazing manor homes, and it's very accessible. We have a running joke in Ireland when you're traveling across the country that it's your Irish ABCs, and that means another bloody castle, because there's so many of them across the country. You can't move for running into this another amazing building or amazing structure. Ireland is also known for its golf, so we're actually home to 1/4 of the world's golf links courses. Royal Portrush is a very famous golf course in Northern Ireland that just recently hosted the 148th Open. And again, with our Canadian connections, I love this one, in that Rory McIlroy, a famous Northern Ireland golfer, recently won at the RBC Canadian Open that was held there last year. We're also known for our 19th hole, by the way, which is that experience after the golf course, which is enjoying a pint in a pub after you spend the day on the course. Outdoor and adventure and that type of, experience in wide open spaces is something I know I'm certainly craving. I'm sure lots of people are after this crazy year where lots of us have been cooped up in condos and others. And Ireland has that in abundance. There's so many amazing experiences in the outdoors. We have incredible landscapes, rolling hills, cliffs. You can even do fun outdoor experiences right in the heart of the cities too, though. So here's a photo of someone paddleboarding on the river in Derry, Londonderry. Beautiful, city scenery behind you, and you can be right on the water there. You can even do that. You can kayak down the River Liffey right in the heart of Dublin City. There's also amazing outdoor accommodation that you can avail of too. So these are the bubble domes in Loch Resort in County Fermanagh. They're absolutely incredible. You can literally sleep under the stars. So we're going to go on a really quick whistle-stop virtual tour. So how we're going to start off is we're going to fly into Dublin, which is this little purple bit on the right-hand side. And then this orange section here is Ireland's ancient east, over 5,000 years of history. We'll then go onto the west coast to Ireland's Wild Atlantic Way, and then finally we'll stop in Northern Ireland. So our first stop, Dublin City. So Dublin has everything it could possibly offer. I'm very passionate about Dublin City as a Dublin girl myself, and one of the most popular attractions is, of course, the Guinness Storehouse. So I don't know how many of you are fans of Guinness, fans of the black stuff. Yeah, me too, Lisa. I absolutely love the stuff. And the Guinness Storehouse is an incredible experience, not only for enjoying the drink, but also the architecture of the building. It's shaped like a pint glass. And there's lots of really quirky, cool things about this museum and about this destination at St. James's Gate, but I won't give them all away because I want you guys to go and visit it and experience it for yourselves. We're also going through a bit of a gin revolution. So if you're not that into beer or whiskey, we do have incredible gin experiences. So Glendalough Gin here is infused with the local botanicals from the nature surrounding it. And they can take you in there, they can show you how they make their gins. This bridge, I don't know if anybody recognizes it or how familiar you are with Dublin City, but this is the Halfpenny Bridge. It crosses the city north to south. And it's called the Halfpenny Bridge because you once upon a time had to pay a halfpenny to cross it. Don't worry, there's no fees now, but it is a very iconic landmark in the city. As is Trinity College, which is the college campus right in the heart of the city. It's where I went to university. And I show the campanile here because there is a legend or a myth that if you go under the clock tower before you graduate, if you are a student there, you will fail your exams. So lots of times you will see people walk around this, but they certainly won't be walking through that arch because while we know it's probably a legend or a myth, if you're a student there, you certainly don't want to take the risk. And lots of you might recognize this library. It's the Long Room Library. It is a library in Trinity College. It's very famous. It always reminds me of a Harry Potter library. There is no connection, but it does always remind me of that. It's where the famous Book of Kells is housed. And it's just an incredible, incredible sight when you go through there. And the smell of books is just phenomenal. And one of my favorite things about my city is Dublin is so surprising by nature. So yes, it's a capital city, but right on either side of it, north and south, you have mountains and you have coastlines. So here, this lighthouse is right, like 5-minute walk from Dublin City, and this is where you can go paddleboarding at a lighthouse. There is incredible coastal villages like Dunleary, like Jockey, like Malahide, or like Howth, right on Dublin's doorstep. You can just hop on the train, local train, 15-20 minutes, you are at one of these little small fishing villages. So really quirky architecture, great little bars and restaurants, fishing, and incredible hikes. You can see here as well on the left, that's Malahide Castle. Actually, fun fact, the first place I ever worked, I lived up the road from this, but it's a beautiful castle, 800 years old, and it's right just outside of Dublin. Right in the heart of the city though, you don't even have to go outside the city limits. This is the largest park in Europe. It's Phoenix Park, right in the heart of Dublin City, just across the water from the Guinness Storehouse, right beside Jameson Distillery and right beside Dublin Zoo. You can spot wild deer roaming around it, and it's actually twice the size of New York's Central Park. And I think if you add up all the parks in London, they'll fit within Phoenix Park. This is some of the hidden gems too. So I mentioned cliff walks. This is Howth. This is the little fishing village of Howth, and you can do an incredible cliff walk 20 minutes outside of the city limits. So just a taste of so many things on offer, and that's just at our capital city of Dublin. Now we're going to go a little further afield. So the next stop on our virtual tour is Ireland's ancient East. As I mentioned, this has over 5,000 years of history. One of my personal favorites is Newgrange, about 40 minutes drive from Dublin City. And it is over 600 years older than the Giza pyramids in Egypt. That blows my mind. It's 1,000 years older than Stonehenge. And the really special thing about this is that on the winter solstice every year, the sun shines into a roof box and it illuminates all the chambers inside. Now, for a structure that old, nobody knows how that was ever possible. There's lots of theories, there's documentaries, there's lots of speculation as to why, but it is something that they have not yet figured out how they've managed to do that. Another iconic landmark in Ireland's ancient East is the Rock of Cashel. This was the ancient seat of Ireland's High Kings, dating way back to the 4th century. It's just an incredible structure. This town of Cashel is beautiful in itself. It's a really quaint, quirky little Irish town. But on top of this hill stands this very domineering structure over the landscape. And that is why, because of the viewpoints from this Rock of Cashel, you could see all surrounding counties. And that is why it was the ancient seat of the High Kings. Waterford City is another special one. This is on the east coastline. It's Ireland's oldest city, and it was founded by the Vikings. And at the heart and soul of this city is the renowned Waterford Crystal, where they can show you around that museum and that factory and show you how they do the glass blowing of the famous Waterford Crystal. I just wanted to put in some hidden gems, my personal favourites, like Howth Cliff Walk in Dublin, or like Cove in County Cork. So Cove is just an incredible little fishing village. The architecture is so quirky and so beautiful. The shopping there is incredible. And it's also the stop of the Titanic. So the Titanic did stop here, and there's a wonderful tour you can do with a doctor called Michael Martin, and he'll take you on the Titanic Trail and tell you lots of stories and fun, engaging history about Titanic stop there. Okay, so next stop on our virtual tour is the Wild Atlantic Way. So the Wild Atlantic Way is the world's longest defined coastal touring route. It spans over 2,500 kilometers, going right from the southern tip to the northern tip of the island of Ireland along the west coast. You may recognize this. It's one of Ireland's most famous landscapes, and it is, of course, the Cliffs of Moher. It's absolutely breathtaking. When you are here, you feel like you are standing on the edge of Europe, and quite literally you are. One of my favorite things to do is to see this on the water though. So yes, you can walk along the cliff edge, but if you go and take one of the boats and see it from the water and look up at this magnificent cliff face, it's just breathtaking. The different perspective is incredible. So something I really recommend you doing. If you have already seen the Cliffs of Moher, or if this doesn't pique your interest, a hidden gem here is that the cliffs at Slieve League in County Donegal are actually 3 times higher. So these are very famous cliffs, but at Slieve League, cliffs 3 times higher. So there's just a little secret that us locals know I'm letting you guys into. And this is Kylemore Abbey. It is just not too far from Galway City, an incredible city in itself, but it's just breathtaking property. It is originally the home of Benedictine nuns, and they do tours of this. You can go for a tea in their restaurant, and they have incredible gardens as well that I recommend checking out. My favorite thing really along the Wild Atlantic Way is that wherever you stop along this drive, you will find a quirky little town, a fun little village, somewhere to pop in and talk to the locals or go see some traditional Irish music. It doesn't matter if you're there at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday or 9 p.m. on a Friday. You're going to get an incredible, authentic, beautiful experience from the Irish locals in any of these little quirky towns. Fun fact about the West Coast particularly, although it is applicable all over Ireland, is our Gaeltacht regions. So we do speak English all over the island of Ireland, but we also have our national language, which is Irish. When you're growing up, you do have to learn English, Irish, and maths. They're the 3 compulsory subjects that you must learn in schools. So most Irish kids will speak Irish. There's a few words, fáilte, which means welcome, Céad Míle fáilte, which means 100,000 welcomes, and that is truly what is waiting for everybody who comes from Canada to Ireland. That is what is waiting for you as soon as you get off that plane. When you have your pint of Guinness in the Guinness storehouse, be sure to raise a glass and say sláinte. That means cheers. It really translates literally as to good health, which now never more important than ever. And Gurb Magat means thank you. And a really fun fact is that the only Gaeltacht area outside of Ireland is actually in Tamworth, Ontario. That blew my mind when I found that out. So the final stop on our virtual tour is Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland was voted #1 region by Lonely Planet in their Best of Travel in 2018. It's an often overlooked area of the island of Ireland, but it's incredible. They have the Causeway Coastal Route, which extends the Wild Atlantic Way. And it's one of my favorite things to do in the world. The scenery along that route is absolutely breathtaking. The Titanic was built in Belfast, which is Northern Ireland's capital city, known as the Ship of Dreams. And this is a multi-award winning attraction. They change it up all the time. So if you've been once, you can go again and you'll have a completely different experience. They have even almost like a roller coaster type attraction in the middle of this museum that brings you around and shows you what it was like and the sounds and the sights that you would have seen when that ship was being built on the docks. It also has lots of fun information of dispelling the myths of the Titanic movie, which may surprise you. Ireland is also known for the Giant's Causeway. It's an incredible natural landscape, and there's lots of myths and legends associated with this. Is it a geological wonder, or was it created by giants having a battle between Northern Ireland and Scotland? And the guys here at the National Trust will tell you lots of incredible stories, and they might almost have you believing some of those legends. One of my favorite things is what you get when you take your geology with a little bit of whiskey. You of course get whiskey on the rocks. So this is the local distillery of Bushmills, which you may be familiar with. And a distiller from Bushmills will meet you on the rocks of the Giant's Causeway before or after the visitor attraction opens for regular visitors. And you can enjoy a glass of whiskey with the distillers from Bushmills on the rocks of the Giant's Causeway, as well as accompanied by a guide from the National Trust. So incredible experience, really exclusive, and something I definitely recommend checking out. So Lisa will be able to help you with that. In Northern Ireland, the Carrick-a-Reedy rope bridge is also a spectacular one. You have to be pretty brave to try this one out. I held my breath the entire way across it, but I did make it to the other side. The joke that the guides will tell you as you cross this bridge is, don't worry, you'll only ever fall off once. But it is a really, really fun one. And if you're brave, you might want to also check out the Gobbins Cliff Path Walk. This is a relatively new attraction. It opened a couple of years ago. It was actually opened way back when, I think in either the late 1800s or up until about 1924. And then they closed it down for health and safety reasons. People used to go in their finery, in their, tea dress and heels, and go and hang out here back in the early 1900s, but it's a little bit different now. I would recommend wearing your hiking boots. But it is a back and forth walk along the rugged cliff coast of Northern Ireland that I highly recommend. And of course, Derry. It's an incredible city. Everyone knows Belfast, but while you are in Northern Ireland, I strongly recommend to check out Derry, Londonderry. Lots of political history there, and the guides do a fascinating job of telling it. And I don't know if anyone's familiar with the TV show on Netflix, Derry Girls. If you're not, and if you are traveling to Ireland, please watch this before you go. It is hilarious. I promise you'll be crying tears of laughter. It's an excellent, excellent show. It is a comedy. I didn't know if the Irish humor would translate here to Canada, but all my Canadian friends absolutely love it. So do check it out. It's available on Netflix. That's pretty much it from me on our virtual tour. I know it was such a whistle stop. If you have any questions, just ask myself, ask Lisa. And just to let you know, we do have lots of resources available on our website. So ireland.com is our website. If you want, any inspiration or itinerary ideas or content, just pop on there. We've lots happening. And wanted to let you know that we are running a Christmas gift competition at the moment as well. So pop onto our website, follow us on our social media channels, and click on the link here and you'll be able to be eligible to win a $250 gift card to the Irish Design House here in Toronto. We also have lots of fun recipes and things that we would love you to try over the holiday season. So you can learn how to make a traditional Irish coffee this Christmas with our videos. And we're also doing 5 steps to make homemade Irish cream. So lots of you might know Bailey's. I make it at home all the time. So I recently created with a friend of mine a video of how to do this at home. So it's 5 easy steps, very simple to make. So I'm sure, Lisa, you could maybe share the video if people are interested in that one. Here's our social media channels. Make sure to follow us. And that's pretty much all from me. We're going into winter here. So this is a quote from the famous author, Seamus Heaney from Northern Ireland. And he once said that if we can winter this one out, we can summer anywhere. And I believe that now this is no more relevant now more than ever. So thank you for joining me on this little bit of a whistle stop tour. I will stop sharing my screen. And if anyone has any questions, I welcome them.
I just want to let everyone know that if you joined at some point during the presentation, I will be putting this up on YouTube and I can share it with you, or you can always go to the YouTube channel, Lisa Booth, and see this or any other of the travel chats. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and Sandra will be able to answer you. Oh, gosh. I know I'm looking forward to returning to Ireland. I haven't been there in, I think, 2 years. So
that's far too long.
Yes, far too long. Had a lovely, lovely time. And I went during the month of October and we had nothing but fabulous weather, absolutely beautiful weather. And I'm a bit of someone who likes to go on a shoulder season. I don't mind going off season at all. I like it. I get to see more, less crowds, more elbow room. No matter where I go, I tend to go off season myself. So it was a wonderful time going in October.
I have to say October is probably my personal favorite time as well. I absolutely love October, and we celebrate Halloween like no other. So a fun fact about Ireland is that the holiday of Halloween was invented in Ireland. It's the ancient festival of Samhain. So over 3,000 years ago. So we go all out for Halloween in Ireland. So definitely October is a good time to go. And the weather tends to be pretty good then too, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's quite mild. It was quite mild and very little rain. We did not encounter a lot of rain.
We don't mind the rain. It's where we get our 40 shades of green from. It's why our grass is so green and our butter tastes so good. So we don't mind it too much.
Yes, I've heard that. There's a reason Ireland is green, but...
It is a common misconception though. It's a little like BC weather, I think. It can be a little misty rain at times, but it's not so bad.
No, we had lovely weather. So if anyone is having a problem with their audio and if they want to put it in the chat, you can do that as well. Or by all means, you can reach out to me afterwards and I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. And if it's something I need a little more detail about, I can always reach out to Sandra.
Always. I see I have a question from Michael actually. I think it was sent to me privately, but I'll just answer it for everybody. It'll just be better because I'm sure other people might have that inquiry. It's how easy is Ireland to get around? What's the best way to get around, car, bus or train? And I would say it depends on what you want to see, how long you're traveling for, and what your personal style of travel is. And at least I'm sure you'll be able to tailor itineraries for everybody based on that. But really, it's a very easy island to get around. It's 3 hours. It's so tiny compared to Canada. It's 3 hours east to west. So from Dublin City to Galway, it's a 3-hour drive. There is really great public transport between the major cities. So between Dublin and Galway, between Dublin and Cork, between Cork and Belfast. However, if you do want to go off the beaten track at all, you really would want to rent a car, get a private chauffeur drive, or the tour operators do some really great job as well. So I'm sure, Lisa, you'll be able to provide some tailored guidance on that, but it is a very small, easily accessible country to get around.
And we also have a question about the accent in Cork. Is it different from that in Dublin?
So different. So I have a Dublin accent, probably slightly Canadianized after my 5 years here, but definitely Dublin. Cork, I would almost need a translator for, I think, and it's only a few hours away. It's very different. So the really interesting thing about Ireland, and it's something that a lot of people come back and say they couldn't believe, is that there's so many varieties of accents. So every county, there's 32 counties, every county has their own unique accent. And even in Dublin, I'm a north side Dublin girl, people on the south side, totally different accent.
Wow. When you think about it here with how vast Canada is, unless you're from down east, we pretty much sound all the English speaking part of the country. It's very hard to tell where you're from.
Yeah, it's very similar across Canada. So it always surprises people for such a tiny country how that is. And there's different dialects and different words, and it's the same both in English and in Irish. There's different words. So Donegal Irish would be different to Dublin Irish, for example.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I must go back and acquaint myself with these differences.
Any excuse to go back, eh?
Absolutely. So I want to thank you again, Sandra, for joining me. It was wonderful. Just a little taste of Ireland. We can hardly wait for the day that we're going to travel again. And, hopefully it's going to be quickly on our horizon. I mean, we're going to be seeing vaccines rolling into Toronto and Ottawa. Only a few, about 3,000 per city, but starting next week. So at least we've got it started and we can look forward to traveling. And I must say before you go, I want to hear more about you had a chat with everyone on golf. So I'm going to have to look that one up, and because I just find golfing in Ireland just a fascinating idea. I mean, where better to golf than Ireland?
My thoughts exactly. I'm not even a golfer and I enjoy golfing in Ireland.
Yes. So I want to thank everyone for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, we have someone has a comment. Is there a rainy season more than any other? Is one time
not so much. I would say
another?
probably April. It's April showers is our thing, right? So April is probably the rainiest month, but no rainy season. Probably I just April.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with that, I want to thank everyone. I want everyone to have a lovely weekend. And Sandra, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, and happy holidays, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Yes, everyone have a lovely holiday. Do take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.